I muted it. Why are y'all spamming W Nick? This chat is...
Reconciliation, understanding that if you could get even the thing that's...
Nick, here's my thing. Can Ye lead a reconciliation movement between everyone? We need leaders to bring us together, not push us apart. You know, that's where Kanye West will have my vote for 2024. If he could prove that bringing everyone together and not misleading and spreading it apart. You know, I want to see everyone work together and be together, and everyone needs to love and come together.
I think he can do that. I think that he can bring the world together through his empathy, his kindness, his music. Also,
what are you talking about, Nick? Listen, I understand that to be Nick Fuentes, you need to be like insanely delusional and tell yourself daily lies. I mean, the Jews are out to get me. It's a lie. My father loves me. It's a lie. I get that your whole upbringing consists of you lying to yourself. However, this is a joke. If you think that Kanye West is some empathetic person who can bring us together, you are a f***ing idiot. Now, at this point, we are all sadly familiar with Adin Ross. Adin Ross, of course, is a streamer who, and I'm not saying this to be ironic or insult him even, unironically does not know how to read. Okay, that's not true. He can read, maybe like Dick and Jane. He can probably read something like that. But like watching this kid try to navigate the internet and read fascist and pronouncing it fascism, and reading authoritarian as authorization, it's just, very confusing shit, okay? Leaves me concerned for the future of this great, powerful Western country. Not only do we have Adin Ross, who is like a bot running on first-generation AI, now we have Adin Ross debating Nick Fuentes on his anti-Semitism. Nicholas Fuentes has shown up here to debate Adin Ross. So we have bot brain on first gen AI and then bot brain on the bigot AI. And that's what we're about to watch here. 24 minutes, Adin Ross debates Nick Fuentes on anti-Semitism. All right, Adin Ross, hopefully you know how to say words this time, and you are able to clobber this little weasel named Nick Fuentes. One can only pray.
Yo.
hello?
Nick, what's going on? I'm live. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
Not so good. I read some statistic that really threw me the fuck off, if you want to be honest with you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did, and I blame you for it.
What is it?
So, I'm looking at these hate crimes by different religions, and anti-Jewish is number one with 683. Could you care to explain?
Oh, yeah. Where are you getting that figure?
Simrat.com.
What is it?
This guy, dude, really doesn't even know the source. Is it per year? I think it's religions. Hate crimes against religion. Well, here's another one. So he's looking at statistics from 2020. Anti-Jewish hate crimes were massive at 683. The second was anti-Islamic attacks, or hate crimes, of 110. So massive, disproportionate hate crimes directed towards Jews here in this country. It's very sad. Now that we have the source actually clarified, let's continue. Adin Ross, you can tell he's not a debater by any means. He's not exactly the master debater. He is trying to credit the Discord user.
I'm an ape and I should go F myself.
He's trying to credit the Discord user for sending the stat. Okay. Let's continue. Let's proceed.
Hate crimes by different religions, and anti-Jewish is number one with 683. Could you care to explain?
Oh, yeah. Where are you getting that figure?
Simrat.com.
What is it?
Simrat?
I don't know what that is.
Whatever. It's this very reliable fucking network page. But listen, this is my point. What's going on? Why do people hate Jews? Come on, bro. Can you listen, bro? I'm a Jewish. I'm a very nice boy. Have I ever done anything to piss y'all off?
I'm a Jewish. Oh man, we are off to a great start, guys. Whew. I'm a Jewish, okay? I am the Jewish of Jews.
Why do you hate me, bro?
I don't hate you, Aiden. I don't hate Jews. I don't hate anybody. I'm a Christian. I love everybody.
Uh-huh.
But as far as...
Listen, if you say, I don't hate Jews, okay? I just think that they are mainly responsible for the demise of my country, of white people, and every single thing I hold dear. Listen, I don't hate Jews, okay? But it's their fault that every single thing has gone wrong in this country, according to me.
As hate crimes go, what you actually find is that, one, a lot of hate crimes are hoaxes, like Jussie Smollett. That's a famous example.
What? What are the rates of hate or of fake hate crimes? This argument is the ultimate red herring when one considers the documented rising number of bias-motivated crimes in America and their toll on individual victims and entire communities. Mr. Riley quotes from a study that claims to have identified 400 fake hate crimes between 2010 and 17. Even if we accepted that as true, during that same period, the FBI reported almost 50,000 hate crimes. In its latest annual Hate Crime Statistics Act report, the FBI reported 7,000 hate crimes in 2017, a 17% jump from 2016. There was a notable 37% spike in crimes targeting Jews and Jewish institutions. Overall, 28% of reported hate crimes were committed against African Americans, who remain among the most vulnerable and targeted groups, and these staggering numbers are clearly incomplete. It sounds like what they're saying is that per capita, since hate crimes in general are going up, that you're also going to see an influx of fake hate crimes as well. Even the guy who is the author of Hate Crime Hoax believes that fewer than 2 out of 10 reported hate crimes are fabricated. Where academics disagree is on just how many hoaxes take place. Riley estimates that as much as 15% of the hate crimes reported to the Federal Bureau of Investigation are falsified, but someone else puts the hoax rate much lower at less than half of 1%. Yeah, so it sounds like we don't really know. It might look like there's a raw increase of hate crime hoaxes, but that would be because the raw numbers are also indicating that there is a overall rise in hate crimes to begin with. So you're going to see a rise in all of it. So just to be clear, Nick Fuentes going like, well, do you know that maybe they're all faked? Is like the laziest bitch baby cop-out imaginable, okay?
Hoaxes, like Jussie Smollett, that's a famous example. You can look into, there are a lot of these hate crimes where there'll be a swastika at a Jewish cemetery or something like that, and it's a Jewish person that puts it there. And the point is to create the kind of sentiment that you're talking about. They're trying to create this effect like...
But I have a question. Do you support hate crimes?
No, not at all. No, not even a little. I don't support violence, murder, vandalism. I'm Catholic. We're absolutely against that.
Yeah, it's just all these fucking social media people, they all read these scripts and they all listen to people, the higher ups. But yeah, dude, the media they perpetuate the fake news for their agenda. I just don't understand.
Perpetuate, I believe, is the word he was looking for there.
They perpetuate. Yeah, I agree. You're totally right.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. I was going to put out a message about this the other day. You remember when Ye put the swastika on his Twitter?
Yeah. What the fuck was that about, bro?
So check this out. A lot of people, when he posted that, what he really posted was a swastika inside of a 6-point star, or the Star of David, which is on the flag of Israel and which Jews use. But what's interesting is most people only saw the swastika. That was the headline, was he posted a swastika. But they missed the point entirely. And the point was, it was radical, it was provocative. But the point of putting the swastika inside the 6-point star, the message was about reconciliation. And it was like, if you could reconcile Jews and Nazis, which are like the most extreme hatred in the society. If you could reconcile like that antagonism, you could bring the whole world together. So his whole idea was...
Me and Adin Ross are on the same page here. What the fuck are you talking about? It's actually the centrist meme, where one side is like, I want human rights, and the other side is like, we want to kill you and take away your rights. And then that dude is in the middle going, can't we all just get along? It's unironically that meme right now. Nick Fuentes is doing it. You see, what Kanye was actually getting at is that the Jews and Nazis should all just come together. What? What? Why can't we all be friends?
Mutual understanding, harmony, bringing people together. Republicans, Democrats, white people, black people, yeah, even Jews and Nazis. That was the point. So anyway.
Yeah, but that's not
something
really...
tells me that wasn't the point, because Kanye West is not a very smart person. I don't think that he's posting that thinking, this is a very nuanced approach about how actually we should put aside our differences, recognize everybody as one race, the human race. No, I'm pretty sure he was just like, hey, this is edgy, LOL, posted it.
Kanye West's decision to end the beef between Nazis and Jews,
Why not, though? I mean,
Dude, there was a thing called the Holocaust, bro.
Here we go.
Yeah, I understand that.
Let's hear Nick deny it. Let's see what he actually posted here, okay? Artist suspended following tirade in which he lauded Hitler and Nazis. I tried my best, but West again violated a rule against the statement of violence. This is what he posted. Well, his caption was love everyone, so maybe that was what he was getting at. Okay, so after you have a history of the guy saying, I like Hitler and Nazis aren't that bad, and then you go along and post your motherfucking swastika meme? I don't know, it's a little yikesy, okay? That might not be the smartest idea if you're trying to, stay on Twitter.
So what do you mean you want to end the beef? There's nothing to squash. It's horrible. What happened?
I agree. It's a provocative message. But
The thing
idea
is you could not actually ever, quote unquote, squash the beef between Jews and Nazis, okay? We're not talking about there being like racial tensions in a case where, hey, I'm black, I'm white, we're not getting along because we look different and I have a bad understanding of how black people behave or a bad understanding of how white people behave. That's something that would be able to be squashed. However, when you are fighting with somebody, you don't have a disagreement with them because of their race. You don't have a disagreement with them based on some kind of intrinsic immutable characteristic. A Nazi, by definition, is somebody who doesn't like Jews, who thinks that Jews are controlling the world. That is what a Nazi is. You cannot be a Nazi without a belief that Jews control the world, that Jews are bad, that Jews are the enemy of the people, that they're trying to wipe out Western civilization, they're flooding the country with brown people to wipe out the powerful white man. Who knows, okay? You need to have some kind of anti-Semitism in order to be a Nazi. Otherwise, you're not a Nazi. Then maybe you're just like a bigoted dumb fuck or something. So no, you can't just like put aside the beef, bro, because you're talking about trying to squash beef between a group of people who are being targeted based on an immutable characteristic, and they're being targeted by people who hate them on the basis of their immutable characteristic, and those people also happen to hold beliefs, specifically, that fuel that bad behavior directed towards Jews.
Yeah, I agree. It's a provocative message. But the idea is it's a radical notion.
I muted it. Why are y'all spamming W, Nick? This chat is...
Reconciliation, understanding. That if you could get even the thing that's...
Nick, here's my thing. Can Ye lead a reconciliation movement between everyone? We need leaders to bring us together, not push us apart. That's where Kanye West will have my vote for 2024. If he could prove that bringing everyone together and not misleading and spreading it apart. I want to see everyone work together and be together, and everyone needs to love and come together.
I think he can do that. I think that he can bring the world together through his empathy, his kindness, his music. Also,
what?
Through Christianity. I'm a big believer.
Wait, his empathy? Where's the empathy when he's talking about how Nazis are actually good people and that Hitler's kind of cool and he likes Hitler? This man and his big brain empathy. Man, you saw him the other day where he was talking about how Adolf Hitler was actually the best, man. Think of that compassionate, young, empathetic gentleman who just wants to bring us Americans together. What are you talking about, Nick? Listen, I understand that to be Nick Fuentes, you need to be like insanely delusional and tell yourself daily lies. I mean, the Jews are out to get me. It's a lie. My father loves me. It's a lie. I get that your whole upbringing consists of you lying to yourself. However, this is a joke. If you think that Kanye West is some empathetic person who can bring us together, you are a fucking idiot.
He can bring the world together through his empathy, his kindness, his music. Also, religion through Christianity. I'm a big believer in that.
What about the people who are not Christian?
Well, here's the trick, Adin, is that as Christians, we believe that Jesus Christ is God. It's very difficult to compromise on that. So we can have tolerance for...
Yeah, just like in order to be... Okay, this is perfect. So in order to be a Christian, you need to believe that Jesus Christ is God, that God rose him from the dead, etc., etc. You cannot be a Christian and not hold that belief. Just like you can't be a Nazi and not hold the fucking belief that Jews are somehow out to get you, etc., etc. Like, okay, so you get it when it comes to Christianity. You're not willing to compromise on certain beliefs. I don't think the neo-Nazis are going to be willing to compromise on their beliefs either when they believe that the Jews are actually trying to wipe them out because they're white.
Other religions and dignity for people that practice other religions, but it's very firm that we believe that if Jesus Christ said so, that's the way it's got to be. And to go against that would be to go against God. And if you're a faithful Christian. So
I just think, all walks of life need to come together against the matrix and the woke left media controlling the sheep. How do we all come together, man? In the name of love and truth, how do we do it?
The matrix, the woke. God, man. Listen, I think if you refer to us living in the matrix, that is just complete, total, irrefutable, objective proof that you are actually the one in the matrix. If you refer to your surroundings as the matrix, unironically, you're the one in the matrix, okay? New rule.
Matrix and the woke left media controlling the sheep. How do we all come together, man? In the name of love and truth, how do we do it?
Well, I think it starts with a recognition of the fact that the woke left is evil, and we have to identify why it's evil. Like, when you see
Woke left is evil. The neo-Nazis aren't.
wokeism, what's like the most perverse expression of it? To me, I think the furthest extent of it is how they're coming after the kids, and they're trying to castrate the kids. I think that's like the most offensive aspect of it. You know, you put on Twitter,
Hey, Nick, who do you think is behind trying to castrate the kids?
there's two genders. They're trying to tell kids to like delay puberty. Some kids will never go through puberty.
Yeah,
Some kids are
that's ridiculous. Yo, how many genders do you think there are?
Two.
Thank you. I mean, it's not, it is science, but it's not rocket science to figure that out.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just apparent.
They're doing it, guys. It's so simple, everybody knows it, which is actually a really bad argument and demonstrates that you're a simple-minded dweeb. It's so simple, even a child could get this. Then maybe that means it's not right. Because if this thing is so goddamn basic that even a fucking child can look at it and apparently know, maybe you're the one who's wrong. Why are you over here agreeing with all the preschoolers? Meanwhile, the academics are arguing about gender being a social construct, sex, whether it's a binary or bimodal, etc., etc.
I don't know, I just didn't like that one clip. You said something that, like, Jews are the spawn of Satan.
I don't think I said that, but I do believe that Jews are doing the work of Satan.
I mean, Nick Fuentes is the spawn of Satan, so a little close.
Absolutely.
All right. Slow it down. Take it back a notch. Just slow it.
Jews are doing the work of Satan. Absolutely.
All right. Slow it down. Take it back a notch. Just slow it the fuck down. What do you mean Jews are doing the work of Satan? What does that even mean? Can you please, elaborate?
Well, so, I mean, I'm a Christian, of course, as you know, and so we think that the only way to the truth is through Jesus Christ. You know, Jesus says that nobody comes to the Father except through me, meaning that you don't get to have...
But did you know, I think Jesus Christ was a Jew.
That's the thing. Yeah, well, that's actually a very complicated subject because, of course, Jesus Christ was a Jew, but as you know, Jews don't worship Jesus Christ. How does that work? Well, in the first century, the Jews and the Christians diverged. And so St. Paul comes around and he really created, because after Christ died and rose again, his disciples and the early Christians, they all practiced a religion very similar to Judaism. And then,
Dude, all you guys saying he has a point and dummy Nick, shut the fuck up, bro. He just said Jews are Satan's work.
Circumcision, they try.
I love it, man. I actually like seeing Adin go off on his chat. That's pretty based. Nice job, Adin. It's also really funny, yeah, that it's like, I think Jews are doing the work of Satan. Oh, except for the one Jew that I literally fucking worship.
And so they sort of diverged in the first century, and Judaism went in one direction, Christianity went in another direction. And the Judaism that we know today, it's defined by its rejection of Jesus. And so if you have one religion, which is defined by its worship of Jesus as God.
You guys know that if you read about this, it's so much more complicated. Actually, it's funny because Nick just said it's more complicated or whatever. It's not more complicated that he doesn't like Jews, but he also worships a Jew. It's not a nuanced, complicated subject, okay? We want to talk about how simple this thing is, like the two gender subject. Well, it's pretty darn obvious that you don't like Jews and you also worship a Jew. It's kind of fucking funny. A little bit ironic.
The Judaism that we know today, it's defined by...
Right, so the Judaism that we know today, it's defined by the fact that they reject that Jesus Christ was the Messiah. Nick Fuentes is not actually incorrect in this regard, in this very limited context. It's true that Jews reject Jesus Christ as the Messiah, but if you look at what the Jewish prophecies were surrounding the prophecy that a Messiah was on its way, Jesus did not fit that prophecy. The Jews believed in the coming of a Messiah that was going to bring like world peace. It's not just like Jews are just, well, I don't really like Jesus, so no, if you read some of the Judeo-religious texts, it's pretty clear what the Messiah was supposed to be and how Jesus very clearly did not fit that prophecy. So here we go. I wrote down some of the stuff about the Messiah. Why Jews reject Jesus. Specifically, the Bible says he will build the third temple, gather all Jews back to the land of Israel, usher in an era of world peace and end all hatred, oppression, suffering, and disease. As it says, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall man learn war anymore. Spread universal knowledge of the God of Israel, which will unite humanity as one. As it says, God will be king over all the world. On that day, God will be one and his name will be one. If an individual fails to fulfill even one of these conditions, then he cannot be the Messiah. So, like, Jesus did none of this. Didn't Jesus talk about tearing down the temple and that, like, freaked a bunch of people out? World peace? Spread universal knowledge of God? We're watching Nick Fuentes and Adin debate right now whether or not the Christian God is the true God. There are a lot of solid justifications as to why Jews would not accept Jesus Christ as being the Messiah, because he literally doesn't fit any of the biblical prophecies.
Its rejection of Jesus. And so if you have one religion which is defined by its worship of Jesus as God, and another religion which is defined by its rejection, of Jesus as God, you have big problems with the Jewish religion if it's rejected.
Holy wait, there is no way Nick Fuentes, small dick Fuentes, is actually going this route. He just went the direction of, well, Kanye can try and bring the Jews and the Nazis together, but now he's saying it's completely incompatible for Christians to work together with Jews because one believed that Jesus is God and the other side doesn't. So when it comes to my imaginary friend is better than your imaginary friend, that's just an irreconcilable difference, okay? You need to secede, no fault divorce from the fucking nation. But then when it comes to Nazis, people that hold beliefs that Jews are inferior, nasty cretins who are genetically predisposed to take and exploit from their host nation, apparently that you can just get over. If you're a Jewish, like Adin Ross over here, can't we all just get along? Go over to the guy that thinks that you are actually an inferior cockroach who's exploiting everything and wiping out the white man. Go give him a big ol' hug. Like, it's so pathetic. Christians cannot possibly reconcile their differences with Jews, but apparently Nick was praising Kanye for trying to reconcile the differences between Jews and fucking Nazis.
Of Jesus as God, you have big problems with the Jewish religion if it's rejecting the true Messiah, the true Savior. That's why you get, it's no secret that, like, communism was basically invented by Jewish people. And you look across the world at what communism...
Here we go. So a lot of the times they'll do this thing where they talk about something that they find to be bad, like communism, and then they say, well, did you know a Jewish person came up with this, right? So first of all, we know that Jews have disproportionate rates of success even to this day. And they have had that disproportionate rate of success throughout history, primarily because Jews were very literate. There were religious motivations, and I think even religious commands, but I could be wrong, that heavily encouraged, at the very least, heavily encouraged Jews to pursue literacy, reading, writing, understanding the world around them. There was a time where the world was very illiterate. Apparently, Nick Fuentes is still living in that time. He never actually returned from tradition, but during a time when there was a lot of illiteracy, Jews were literate. That's obviously going to give them a step up. They're going to be able to climb the ladder of success at a much faster rate if they have the ability to read and write. So we would have to look up, is it true that a Jewish person came up with communism? Is any of that true? But like, if it is, if for the sake of the video, we're just going to say, fine, we'll take Nick's word on it, Jews had higher rates of literacy. It's not surprising that some of these theories that were first introduced that now play a role in leftist theory were originally posited by the group of people that were able to read and write far more than any other group of person around the time. Obviously, yes, it's probably going to be the people who have higher literacy rates contributing to some of these early views of leftist theory. Man, Nick Fuentes is such a dweeb. He's such a little loser, man. This is why I say he's a neo-Nazi with a neo-dick. Just laugh at him.
Was basically invented by Jewish people. And you look across the world at what communism has done.
Oh yeah, one other thing I should add too. Sorry, I know I'm pausing this a lot, but whenever they try to blame Jews, ask them, okay, what was relevant to the fact that they were Jews when they did this? Is there something in Judaism that says the workers need to seize the means of production? Or was it just somebody who was Jewish who happened to come up with a theory in regards to communism? You can't just say, like, cause this person was Jewish, just like you couldn't say, well, this person was a man. So men are all bad communists trying to wipe out the white man. They were also all white people who came up with these things.
Communism is done. It's responsible for the death of hundreds of millions of people. I don't think it's a coincidence that here you have this group of people that deny Jesus Christ.
Did you just blame Jews for the deaths of hundreds of millions of people?
What's up?
How did Jews end 100 millions of people?
Because they promulgated...
Not all Jews reject Jesus, though. That's what you're not understanding. I don't reject Jesus and I'm Jewish.
You don't reject Jesus?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good news. Are you a Christian?
I'm Jewish.
Okay, so...
I think that they need to clarify what they mean by Jewish. Like, there's the, are you ethnically Jewish? Is that what you're referring to? Or do you mean that religiously you're Jewish? Because if you are religiously Jewish but believe that Jesus Christ was the Messiah, I don't think that would I think you would literally not be considered a Jew based on the religious context. So does he just mean ethnically or whatever, Jewish?
Are you a Christian?
I'm Jewish.
Okay, so but do you think that Jesus Christ is God?
The only thing that, let me think about that for a second.
Okay.
Can you restate your question, please?
Okay, how about this? Do you believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah? He's the Savior of the world.
I think Jewish people, I'm not super religious, that's the thing. But I think Jewish people, it's Abraham is the God, yeah? But look, let's just.
Okay, Adin, back off this subject, dude. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. No, Abraham was not the Jewish Messiah, Adin. Holy shit. Adin's giving my brain AIDS just watching this. He's up against like such a scumfuck piece of shit too, Nick Fuentes, and yet he's over here saying Abraham was the Jewish Messiah? What?
Listen, here's my thing, right?
Okay.
So, I do want to talk about one specific topic.
Okay.
I think it's really fucked up what they are doing in Northwest, Ye got blamed for standing up as a father, now she's dressing up as Ice Spice and doing the little dance and, I saw what you were saying about the children thing. I understand what you're saying about that.
Yeah. Well, and what I'm getting at here is, so the woke left, like you say, they're coming after children. I think everyone agrees that is evil. I think everyone has a conscience enough to say that's evil. And you have to
keep in mind that his version of they are coming after the kids is like, hey, here are children that are currently suffering from debilitating mental illness. Maybe we should pursue what's been medically demonstrated to be the best treatment thus far. That's the left coming for the kids. Whereas Nick Fuentes would prefer that they all just, I don't know, die in a heaping pile so he can feel like he has done his own Holocaust. Most rational people are aware of what the medical research says thus far and are in favor of medical intervention for the sake of kids who are struggling with debilitating gender dysphoria.
Ask yourself, well, why is it evil? Why is it evil that they're doing these things? And, you ask how can we unite everybody to defeat the Matrix? How can we unite people to defeat the woke left? I believe the only answer to the left, if you really want to know the true alternative, it's Christianity. It's not the red pill dating. It's not.
Oh my God. It's even worse that he's a Nazi, but it hurts, man. It actually is painful. Those darn woke liberals trying to include black people in our media and saying that if you have gender dysphoria, you deserve to get medical treatment. You know what the solution for all this is? Believing in my version of God. That would solve all of our problems, Because what do you know? God says that trans people are sinful, disgusting, subhuman degenerates. So, stop being trans for the sake of God. Is that your idea, Nick? My God, dude. It's so stupid. Just, if everybody would just go to church more often, then the goddamn kids wouldn't be so gay.
Points that you make about, exposing the fake left motherfuckers. Basically, how do you feel about that? Because Islam is the same way. They have the same similar beliefs.
Don't subscribe to their theology. So I think it's wrong. I think that they are wrong. And if you look at the Muslim world, they have a lot of problems. So a lot of people are saying, that's a popular thing to say now is, well, Muslims are defending the conservative values and Christians aren't. It's like, well, Muslim society isn't exactly perfect either. I would say that
it's cringy and funny because the same people who claim that gay people should be forced back into the closet, trans people are all degenerate, women should know their place in the kitchen, women should cover themselves up as to not cause the pig man to stumble. All of these beliefs are held by evangelical Christians here in this country. Those beliefs are heavily involved, almost identical to radical Islam beliefs. But what's funnier even is that it's the evangelicals who have way more in common with the Islamic extremists who also claim that they are a patriot who love America. No, boo. If you want to take away people's freedoms, if you think that women should be relegated back to the kitchen and shouldn't have the freedom to enter the workforce or pursue their own happiness in life, you are against American values. So these people claim that they're patriots, they love America, and even more so, sometimes they'll tell us, like Nick Fuentes would, tell us that, well, if we let too many of the Browns into the country, you see, they don't align with our values. So it will cause a big problem in our society. That's why we can't let any brown people in the country. If we want to talk about who doesn't agree with our values, that would be Nick Fuentes. That would be the radical Christian right who want to establish a theocracy. It's those motherfuckers that do not align with American values. Not even close. In fact, I'm pretty sure Nick Fuentes would wipe his ass with the Constitution if he could. They have way more in common with the radical Muslims over in Afghanistan or whatever the fuck, okay? But they'll tell us that, well, Muslims are bad and Muslims are actually terrorists and, well, we got to keep brown people out because they don't align with our values. You people don't align with our values. And if what you wanted to happen was to come true, which is, fine, we're going to get rid of everybody that doesn't align with our values, all you dumb hoes would be getting deported ASAP. So cope about that one, Grandpa.
You got a lot of issues going on over there in Saudi Arabia. You got a lot of issues going on.
Nothing in this world is perfect except God.
Yes.
I'm glad we can believe that, right? Let me ask you. So, Nick, how do we stop the woke left? They are destroying the world. How do we stop them?
Like I said, I think that you have got to have a religious revival. I think that people need to be led back to Christianity, because the moment that people began to leave religion, and specifically Christianity, that is when all of this started to happen. It coincided almost 100%. People leaving Christianity and then people becoming liberal, leftist, woke, progressive, all these things, because at the end of the day...
What? Yeah, man. Remember back when everybody was a Christian, there was no such thing as a leftist? Remember when God was here and he wouldn't let anybody hold political positions that I conveniently disagree with, that my God conveniently disagrees with as well? What is he talking about? There have been communists and liberals and progressives and leftists and all this shit for as long as you can look back, okay? When this nation was still far more Christian, there were still progressives. When this nation was far more Christian, there were still progressives saying, hey, you know what? Black people deserve rights and women should be able to work if they want to.
Wokeism comes from the idea that we're all just material, that we don't have souls. You know, when you hear these people on the internet, they say, we're all just
Wokeism comes from the idea that it's all just materialism and we have no souls? No. I thought that woke was referring to, well, the way that conservatives refer to woke is pretty much anytime it's not default white male character number 134. That's anytime it like deviates from that, it's woke. But like the actual meaning of woke is just talking about being awake to the fact that there are still structural injustices set up that are further marginalizing marginalized groups. You know, you can believe that you have a soul and say, hey, you know, because we all have souls and we're created in the image of God, we should make sure that our fellow brothers in Christ are not being disproportionately given the death sentence. No, nobody has to reject the soul. In fact, most people who talk about this, it would actually make perfect sense to have it in alignment with the belief that you have a soul. Last but not least, you don't have to believe that everything is only physical or that we're all just made of stardust to hold these quote unquote woke ideas. Probably people who are woke and want to bring awareness of these injustices, they probably care about making the material world better. But why shouldn't you? After all, it's this material world where we are given our chance to find God and choose whether we want to accept him or decide not to believe in him, which results in us getting cast into hell for all of eternity. You should care about making this current world, this physical realm, whatever the fuck, you should care about making this a better place also. Because it's this world where it's left up to me to go off on my little journey, picking up my cross, go and find God. That should be a better world for all of us, okay? But no, instead, I think Nick actually just makes shit up as he goes.
Stardust, bro. We're all just chemical reactions. That's how you get.
Well, isn't it kind of crazy that, like, if you really think about it, bro, we're like...
Yeah, the Stardust bit, too, is like the atheists just think we're useless and worthless like a grain of sand. One, that's not true. It's actually Christians who oftentimes will belittle death or act as if death isn't that big of a deal, or try to act like, well, it's not the end of the world, you know, because now they're in heaven. It's Christians who believe that everyone who dies, if they believe in God, are just going to go and float off into the clouds. Those people are the ones who oftentimes treat people like they're not all that important because, well, it's really the afterlife that matters far more. So don't give me that bullshit. Second of all, even if I were to concede and say, yup, dude, we're all made from stardust and chemical reactions, bro. You know that doesn't mean that we have like no purpose and that everything is worthless, right? We give ourselves purpose and meaning, and we choose to pursue that purpose and that meaning. And let me tell you something right now. That is so much more liberating. That is so much better. Talk about your purpose in life. You should be able to pick your purpose in life. I don't want some God who's okay with slavery, who never has made himself really known or detectable, to go and give me my fucking purpose. I get to choose my own purpose and my own destiny. I get to look at the things that I have available to me right now materially and choose what I do with that in order to hopefully improve my life for the better and improve the life of my family for the better. That is so much more fulfilling to be able to just decide your purpose rather than believing that, like, well, it's been ordained by the all-knowing God, and if you just read this like 4,000-year-old book of fables, then you'll figure it out, pal. I heard that evangelicals believe that there's going to be a rapture in the year 2050. Evangelicals have been saying that the rapture is coming for as long as I can remember. Do not listen to what they say. Every single time, it's a hysterical failure, and it really deserves nothing but our endless, relentless mockery.
That, like, if you really think about it, bro, we're like a stone or like a rock, and we're like on a spinning island, like just spinning, and like we're just like literally like this little like particle, of dust, and we're just on a fucking island somewhere out in Indonesia, or the fuck the universe is called, and we're just literally there, and there's life here and life outside. It's just, life is fucking trippy, bro. So I do,
Yeah, dude. Life is trippy, man. Hits blunt. Yo, bro. Have you ever thought that maybe the entire world should be called Indonesia? Yeah, man.
That was missing, because that's true. We are minuscule in all of God's creation. But what's missing from
So you believe that we're minuscule in all of God's creation. How does your view then make things better?
that is that each soul has infinite worth. That we are body, but we're also soul. And God gave us
Do Jewish souls have infinite worth? Do the black thugs that you're always talking about, Nick? Do their souls have worth?
a soul, and He gave
I
us
believe
will.
that us human beings are here as vessels.
As what?
Vessels. Do you know what a vessel is?
As a vessel? Oh, yeah. For what?
I believe that we're a vessel to teach people the truth, and I believe that we're here for a reason, to basically spread knowledge and spread, positivity, spread great energy, and
Then why is it the conservatives consistently lie and don't spread truth?
here for a reason, to basically spread knowledge and spread, positivity, spread great energy, and teach people who are basically not fulfilled with the truth.
Yeah, I think that teaching the truth is a huge part of the meaning of life. But, at a certain point, you're digging for the truth. And I know I sound like super religious, but I always wasn't like that. I was like a libertarian. I was just like a right-wing political guy. And I kept digging for the deepest truth possible. And it's like I stumbled on the Catholic religion.
I stumbled on the Catholic religion, the Jewish question, and the belief that there's a biological component to race and IQ. Nick Fuentes, man, searching for the truth on 4chan. God led me to this website when I meant to type in hot porn, big cock, and then it accidentally took me to 4chan. This was God's ultimate will to deliver to me the truth. Posted by Pepe Shitposter123.
Because I didn't start out trying to be, I was never super religious or anything, but I kept digging and going to the highest possible truth. But then you get to philosophy, and I think ultimately, if you're intelligent, you get to
It's crazy you say that, Nick. Now I'm starting to say things like there's only two genders. I'm starting to say stuff, right? But then back then, like 2 years ago, when I was telling people I want to suck their dicks and I want to fuck you and I want to basically letting like Nick, I'm like, oh Nick, I want to suck your dick, like shit like that. Like that shit was never being, he was never in that same category. Like it's just weird now. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's just kind of fucking crazy. How the media is, right? But look, right or wrong, bro, about religion.
Do you think Adin Ross is like on drugs right now? I mean, I'm seriously, I'm curious, and I also would like to know, because whatever he has, I want it, because it looks like he is just tripping, man.
Religion is so divided, and I think we all need to be together in one. All religions, no matter what religion you are, support, whatever, every religion will agree with this statement, that we all need to just be brought together and spread love and the truth. Is that correct, Nick?
But Nick doesn't spread love when he talks about Jews doing the work of Satan and talks about race realism. That's not spreading love.
I have a dick, you have a dick, Nick. Like, we can get people pregnant with cum, with nut,
What is going on? Why am I here? Thank you for the sex ed class, Adin. Now please get back to the conversation involving Jews, race realism, the valuable convos.
At the end of the day, man, there's no division. If I have a baby, let's say, with someone who's a part of your family who's a girl, I would never disrespect you in that way, but I fuck and nut in her, I have a baby with her, it's a connection, it's a connected soul, with my soul and her soul. I'm just saying in general, we come together, that's what will end racism. That's why I love
We all just have to come together. Maybe that would end the anti-Semitism too, you know? We all just get in a big circle, we come together, man. Sounds beautiful.
When, I see people with
So
different
basically you're telling me that the fate of the world depends on how big our orgy is. Well, I'm concerned because, well, apparently Nick is necessary to be part of this group.
cultures combine and create babies and families because it's just it's beautiful because it's crossing over and it's showing that, hey, like, fuck racism. Yeah, I'm black. Yeah, I'm white. Let's come together. Let's make a black white baby. It doesn't fucking matter,
Well, I will agree with you about one thing. I think that
I love that, by the way. Hey guys, sex will fix racism, okay? Are you in favor of BLM, lady? Well, then why the hell are you not naked fucking me right here, right now? It's great. It's like the creepy male feminist who pretends to be a male feminist so that he can get laid. Now you just have to be the creepy progressive guy. I'm anti-racism. That's why I hook up with different people every fucking night. Hell yeah. You're not an activist because you went to the strip club. It doesn't work like that.
you're right in the sense of every human being has a longing for universal brotherhood. You're right that in spite of racial, tribal, religious differences, everybody in their heart, I think any noble person in their heart of hearts, sees mankind as a brotherhood and that we are all related, we are all kin.
I'm never going to stop pointing out the irony of this guy saying how we're all related and the brotherhood of humanity. He's a race realist.
How are my points, chat? 1 through 10, be honest.
Some of these differences matter. They matter to people. They matter to each other. People value their race. People value their culture.
Very true. Very true.
A lot of the people...
Some people value their race to the point that they think their race is superior to all other races. I think there's a term for that.
Come over here who are against, like what you just said, which is race mixing or interracial marriage. The people that are the most against that are like immigrants from Asia or immigrants from Africa or from Latin America. And I don't see anything wrong with that because they're trying to preserve a lot to each other. People value their race. People differences matter. They matter to people. They matter to each other. People value their race. People value their culture.
Very true. Very true.
A lot of the people that come over here who are against, like what you just said, which is race mixing or interracial marriage, the people that are the most against that are like immigrants from Asia or immigrants from Africa.
Second of all, again, why is Nick saying this? That, well, actually, you see, the bigotry is coming in from the Asians, guys. Nick, we've all seen the clip, my dude, when you didn't know you were being recorded and you compared a white woman having sex with a black man to a person having sex with a dog. You guys remember that one? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Well, I did hear leaked audio of you comparing a white woman having sex with a dog to having sex with a black man and saying that it was basically the same level of degeneracy. And that was like leaked audio. So I felt like that was kind of telling about what you might say behind the scenes.
Yeah, and
Maybe that was a joke?
Well, no. I mean, I can explain the.
It didn't sound like a joke.
Well, hang on. I can explain the context of that. And the thing is, I'm going to answer that. But first, I want to say the better question is, because I saw your stream yesterday, full disclosure, Adam, on Twitch, where you went to the SPLC, which is an advocacy group.
And I will acknowledge that the SPLC has deemed a lot of people and different podcasts that I enjoy like basically hate groups. So I don't put a lot of faith in their opinion off rip. So I did go there to get some information on stream, but I'm not saying that I deem them a respectable organization.
Well, and that's fair enough, but I'm saying the point is, and this is the question that should be asked about that, they're advocates. That's an advocacy group, and they're paid to mine. I've been doing streaming for 6 years.
Oh, okay. So the people that got the clip of him saying that were apparently paid to find damaging clips or something. Well, whoever dug up that clip on you, Nick, I hope to God they got a massive raise.
I produce thousands and thousands of hours of content. They're paid to mine, the 10 or 15 worst things, 10-second. Like, let me ask you, you don't know the circumstances surrounding that clip, but it was provided there for you.
Do we need to know the circumstances surrounding the clip? No. What context makes this okay? Well, you see, the context is that I'm racist, you see? So now that you have an understanding that I actually hate black people, it makes sense why I would say this. Like, that's just some mad cope. But yeah, there you go. At least evidence that Nick has said that before, doesn't even deny it.
Or from people that are the most against that are like immigrants from Asia or immigrants from Africa or from Latin America. And I don't see anything wrong with that because they're trying to preserve their heritage, their culture, which has been going on for thousands of years. I think that the real way that we're going to end racism is, I think Christianity is the only answer, because then we realize that we're all children of God. We're all saved by the blood of Jesus and forgiveness. Reconciliation with God. I'm not like a Protestant or whatever, and recognize that everybody has an infinite worth. Every soul.
So even Nick he's trying, right, to justify this here, and it's looking really bad for him when he's going, well, they care about this. You see that, like, they're against race mixing because they want to preserve their race and their culture. Culture is not tied to race. It's correlated with race. No cultural stereotype or cultural norm is biological. You're born in an environment in which you are exposed to certain things, and you're sort of raised, your upbringing is in an environment in which, hey, this is part of what we do here to celebrate our achievements or to celebrate the fact that we're black or this, that, or the other thing. No culture is tied to race to the extent that you would want to be against race mixing in order to preserve culture. That's impossible. Obviously, it's mostly environmental factors. Don't use the obviously word. We're talking to people that are on like insane levels of stupidity.
Or whatever, and recognize that everybody has an infinite worth. Every soul is valuable. Every soul was made in the image of God, and so there's a mutual understanding that can occur that can transcend racial lines. I don't believe in dissolving racial lines, but I think we can reach across them in friendship.
I wish that every time he said, like, we gotta love everybody, man. We just gotta come together as one. I could just play the soundbite of him saying that having sex with a dog is the same as having sex with a black person.
Hard to but I see what you're saying. I want to ask you the question before we wrap this up. What's going on with I know you can't really speak as much as the stuff you guys been working on stream, but what have you and Kanye been having cooked up lately? What have you and Ye been working on?
Well, he's been writing something like I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll just say he's been writing something about politics, and so we've been workshopping that a little bit, going back and forth. He's been writing some very interesting ideas down about utopian philosophers and some critiques of them, and he's fleshing out some of the things that he has said about Hitler and trying to, I think, articulate them in a different way. So,
and what kind of way, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of way is Kanye trying to rewrite the way he said about Hitler? What is he trying to say?
Well, the premise about what he said, and I don't think that he said anything that anybody would disagree with, is that Hitler was a figure who cast a long shadow over everything in the world. Like, love him, hate him, think he's the evilest guy, think, maybe he did some good things, like Ye said. You have to admit that he was an iconic figure that is still talked about today. And so,
iconic usually implies that it's like they're an icon, like in a good way. The word that Nick is looking for here is notorious, meaning you are famous for a bad reason. You're famously known for killing 6 million plus Jews. That's what you're famous for, okay? Iconic? No. Not the right word. You can say that, like, Drake is iconic if you want. I'll be mad at you, but that would be a little bit more fitting, okay? Not Hitler. Iconic sounds like a positive thing. And what Kanye did was mentioning that Hitler did some good things also, like building the highway or inventing the microphone, which Hitler actually did not invent the microphone. I don't even know what that means. And he didn't invent the highways either. Okay, has Hitler ever done anything good? Okay, if Adolf Hitler as a young child one day decided to give the nearby squirrel an acorn instead of shooting it with his BB gun, well, that was a good thing he did there, sure. Good thing he did right there, okay? It sounds weird, though, when you have somebody who is notorious for murdering over 10 million people, and then you're focusing on some, like, good thing, quote unquote, that he did that was, like, completely minuscule and has no real relevance. It sounds like you have a vested interest in defending the reputation of Adolf Hitler. So that sounds a little bit yikesy.
I have to admit that he's the evilest guy, think, maybe he did some good things, like Ye said. You have to admit that he was an iconic figure that is still talked about today. And so Ye was trying to understand what made him iconic, what made that movement so powerful.
Killing all the Jews, that's what made him known. Why is Nick like, there is nuance here, you see? We must do a deep dive into the history of Adolf Hitler's brain functionality. Was his dopamine at a certain level? Like, shut the fuck up. He's notorious because he killed 6 million Jews. He's notorious because he killed over 10 million people.
Why is it still so present in our minds? He was really trying to basically reverse engineer it to some extent, and more from an objective lens, like as a political movement. How did this political movement...
Saying Hitler did some good things also, and then listing off 2 things that Hitler in fact didn't do? You're not doing anything there, Nick, except just being an idiot and being wrong. Why are you trying to defend Kanye so bad right here, man? He was just wrong.
Mindset. And so whether you're communist or you're a collectivist or something, There are people on both left and right that say, no, like we belong to a nation, we belong to a collective, we want to work, we want to toil and undertake a big effort to help humanity and help other people. So anyway, that's just a little taste. Okay, that's just like a little preview. But yeah, we've just been going back and forth writing some things, and
Okay, good to hear that. And Nick, I told you this privately. I'll say it publicly. I know Ye and I were speaking, a few months back, whatever. I know you know about that, and we had a little disagreement over the phone call and whatever. And it is what it is. But I at the end of the day, man, I love Ye, and I want to help spread peace and love. And this hate shit is just not it, bro. I'm all for spreading love and never hate. So if you and Ye, I know you guys are still thinking about running for the 24. Do you guys want me a part of the team, man?
I can't speak for him, but I know that he.
You are not unironically telling me that this video began with Adin seeming to be angry about Nick Fuentes and his anti-Semitic general beliefs. It started that way. Now it's ending with him saying, look, man, well, if you're telling me that Kanye's actually offered the love, bruh, I'm down. Do you want me to be on your team, by the way? Were you just being a phony because you didn't want to be the kid picked last?
Youth, nobody can debate that. What you've done is unbelievable with Kick. You're one of the biggest stars in the world. And, Ye is concerned about the youth. Like, the youth are the future. Like, he wants to get ideas from young people. So I think he's totally open to that. I don't want to speak on his behalf, but, I think it would be a good idea. So hopefully we can make that happen this year. For sure.
I'm with that. Like I said, man, it's all about spreading love, and I'm all for it. So you just
Absolutely.
No hate at all, man. No hate at all. I don't want to be in the office with you guys, and then you guys hire somebody to because I'm Jewish, you guys hire somebody to come kill me or anything like that. You wouldn't. No, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding at the same time.
We love you. We love everybody. All right, I'll take it easy.
Well, all right, Nick, I'll talk to you later. All right.
All right, see you, man.
All right.
Bye.
All right, chat. Yeah, what was that evil laugh? Anyways, chat. What do y'all think, chat? Be honest. Do you guys want to see me run for Ye 24 or no? Let me know right now. Do you guys want to see that?
Could you imagine Adin Ross running for any position in government at all? Remember when everybody made fun of John Fetterman for not being a very good speaker because he had a stroke? Well, I'm pretty sure Adin has not had any stroke, and he talks even worse. I would love to see how this is going to go down. Man, that's one for the history books right there. Well, I think I just suffered a stroke from watching that. Literally started off with a hostile debate. Seemed like Adin was really dedicated to confronting Nick, and it ended with him begging him for a position in Kanye's campaign. Well, there you guys have it. NPC Bot 1 arguing with NPC Bot 2 with the bigoted upgrade. Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Adin, for making me further regret that I was the fastest sperm. Why me? Why me?